Hey, this is Blair Lewis with Namastir. I'm going to be cooking Japanese gnocchi. I thought you might want to join me. First rule of cooking in the kitchen is always cook with someone better looking than you. So I have Andrew here. Oh, you got to get on camera here, you salty little bastard. So I've got that covered, which is super great. The good news is he's recording something and he's saying the same thing about me. So for Japanese gnocchi, you are going to need an onion. This is vegan butter. You may just want regular butter if you want to step it up with a flavor. White miso paste. Sorry, white privilege. Always need salt and pepper for everything. I use Adam's 5 salt, 5 pepper. Bok choy. It's the vegetable of champions. Smoked nori spices. I'm smelling smoke. And then here's something I didn't know existed before I started cooking some vegan meals. Tomato powder. Apparently they just get a witch to vaporize a tomato. I've already peeled the ginger. Got 2 cloves of garlic. Scallions. Everybody's favorite, the lime. Your favorite knife. And then we like to repurpose whiskey bottles with olive oil. And, well, if you do the bullet rye, you already have the green label, so it's just super easy to figure out. And then I mentioned gnocchi. Now, here's something that you may not think of. But if you want your backyard to smell bad, you're going to want a little compost thing to stick your onions and things of that nature in. The flies and ants in your backyard friggin' love it, but you get to wear that hippie badge. And the other thing about cooking pasta is oftentimes they want you to reserve pasta liquid, so you need a strainer and a little something to catch that in. You're always going to need some measuring cups and measuring spoons, so keep those around. So basically what we're going to do, we're going to dice an onion. I like to keep the bottom on the onion so you can go across, so you're making the dicing as you have it, and it's all hanging from that bottom of the oven. The oven? Well, onion. So you see how it opens up there? Now when I slice it, it should come off as nice little dices. Now, we in our family, if Andrew's eating, double the onion. He's good enough looking to pull it off. I gotta work, so I throw this away into the old compost or into a Tupperware thing. You don't know what happened because it happened off screen. I actually have a small child eating this, just so nourished. You're welcome, Morgan. Good job. So when it comes to the ginger, they want this bad boy peeled and minced. I've already done the peeling, so the mincing. I don't have a cool trick for ginger. So what you're going to witness is the Benihana knife style. I think you're going to appreciate it. 9 out of 10 people who watch my style of dicing say, that sucks. 1 out of 10 is like, man, that's good. And I appreciate my own review of myself. Never get stuck in a situation where you're not reviewing your own films. I mean, I don't want to tell you anything you don't know, but the public, they're the worst. But you'll see that come November 4th, as America fights to bring out the worst in us all. All right, so I got the ginger, I've got the onion. Now what to do with this scallion? You're gonna thinly slice the scallions. I like to slice the scallions at an angle, and then I'm gonna cut these at an angle to make them all pretty and restaurant style. Sometimes you have to separate the green from the white. This recipe just says thinly sliced, so I'm just going to go all the way through. Now when it comes to the white side, that's where the power punch is kept, so I cut that a little thinner. Always good to have a good sized cutting board where you can move some things around on it. As you see, I'm putting mise en place. Now they want half of this lime juiced and half sliced. So I'll slice some wedges there for later. And then I like to keep around a little ramekin action for that juice. I don't know that I'm particularly good at squeezing limes, but 2020 USA Today said the best way to flex on film is to squeeze a lime. So just a little something for all you men out there who like to watch men squeeze limes, because I know not one single female out there likes to watch me. Now, here's the thing. When you want to cook like old BL, you always keep a towel on the shoulder. Where do we keep the towel, Andrew?
On the shoulder.
On the shoulder, my friend. Ready? And then when he comes around, he can use it. It becomes the family towel. So I've got a pot of water boiling over here. You got to salt it. You got to salt it for sure. Now the last thing that I want to do here to prep is the bok choy. So bok choy, you almost always find out that you're just going to slice it, not a whole lot to it, but it does grow in the dirt, so it's always good to wash it up. Now these recipes come from purple carrot. So my daughter, she went vegetarian when she was 15, and we were solid meat eaters at the time. I didn't know what to do about the vegetarian diet, but I knew that I loved my daughter, so I got to move into quick action. And what we learned is there's meal prep stuff, so they'll send it to you. So they actually send you the recipes at Purple Carrot, hashtag Purple Carrot, I guess. I don't know what you hashtag, but I do know that I could use a sponsorship. So we're going to add the gnocchi to a large pot of boiling water. It's going to cook for about 3 to 5 minutes. With gnocchi, you'll know it's cooked when it floats, so it takes the guesswork out of it. All right, so here we are at the old oven top. So I'm going to dump the gnocchi into the water for 3 to 5 minutes. Again, I'm just looking for it to float. Now this particular gnocchi we are going to end up putting in this skillet that I have heated up. And we are going to do that because we are going to put a little char on it. Or as they say in the TV show, chopped char. You drop it in here, you pray to God that it doesn't splash up and hit your hands, but it often does. And just badge courage, Bach, B-O-C. Now on this, I got this heated up over a medium-high heat. All right, the gnocchi is cooked. I reserved 1 cup of reserved pasta water, and now I've got the gnocchi in my colander, and we are going to put it in what they call for 2 teaspoons of olive oil, but you're a serial killer if you measure out your olive oil. So we are just going to put that in there until it wettens la skillet. Move it around. Now you always want to add the olive oil after the pan is hot, because you are cooking with olive oil, you are not cooking olive oil. And that's a good little sizzle. That's why I like to have a screen. Put it on the screen, less cleanup. So the important thing here is you want to get these pieces nice and flat, because we're going to brown them. It's going to do about 3 to 5 minutes again. Once it's crispy on the bottom, then we're going to work some more magic, which includes taking the diced onion, garlic, or garlic, as they say, and ginger. And we're going to cook that up in here, and it's going to get the whole house smelling good. And that's why, if you look way back here underneath the Marilyn Monroe, we're going to be lighting some candles. I do have to saute these gnocchis, so I left them, and as you can see, they got nice and crispy. And then I move these bad boys around, and we're going to put some of that smoked nori on there. But first, I'm going to prove to you that I'm kind of a badass, and I'm going to show you that you don't need no spatula. So we're going to put some of this smoked nori spice on there, get it going. This is 2 teaspoons. We've reserved some nori spice for later. So I'm going to sprinkle this up, get it moved around, and then you're going to have to keep this warm. So what I like to do is get 2 plates that have a pretty good depth to them, pour them on top, and then trap the heat in. So now we are going to cook this beautiful set of trilogy, trinity, however you want to say it. We're going to get this bad boy going. Move the olive oil around like I told you earlier. Still have the oven, or stove, excuse me, at medium-high heat. For me, that's a 7. So I'm going to let this soften and I'm going to come back to you. All right, so this is what we're working with. We got those garlic, ginger, and onion pieces all nice and soft. And now, that took me about 4 minutes. Yeah, 4 minutes. I'm going to add the 1 cup of reserved pasta water. The juice from half of a lime. The 3 tablespoons of vegan butter. Now, how they milk a vegan for butter, I'm not 1,000% sure, but I'm 1,000% sure it involves the nipples. The miso paste, which they say is white, but that is as brown as you and I. And then the 2 tablespoons of tomato powder. We're going to get that all mixed up and lovely. I'll show you a little picture of it when I get there. First, you can watch me struggle with opening a Ziploc packet. It's one of the things, like as I released my first video, I always try to think of what people demand. One of the top demands is, let me see you struggle with the Ziploc packet. I like to throw around the old figure 8. But let me show you what we got now. Looking good. At a boil, you reduce it to simmer, which I have done. And now we're going to add the chopped bok choy. Not the sliced bok choy, no, no, no. And then it also calls for a little salt and pepper. So I've got the chopped bok choy in there. Got my Adams 5 pepper and 5 salt. Give it a nice little pow, 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 pow. Now we got to get all these things good and juiced up. Again, the figure 8 comes in handy. Still got the towel. The bok choy starts to wilt a little bit. Usually takes a minute or 2. So now that we got this pretty much all covered up, we're going to work on plating it. So this is 2 servings. Might be important for you to know. And we're going to top it with the rest of our smoked nori spice. So I'm going to get out 2 plates. I'm going to spread it out on your plate, make it look a little appetizing. I'll show you that in a second, because right now it just looks like goulash. Now, if you remember, I trapped my gnocchi under here. So it's nice and warm. Plate is still feeling warm. Going to put this bad boy on top of there. Like so. Well, Blair, you haven't done anything with the chopped scallions yet that you so lovingly diagonally sliced. Well, kids, that goes on top to make it look picture perfect. We're also going to put a couple of lime wedges on there just to make it look like it really came from a professional chef. Sprinkle the rest of this nori spice on here. Yummy, yum, yum. Okay, so the money shot. Let's see how it is. Got a pretty good bite there. I squeezed the lime on there, all nice. Oh yeah, this is the cooking show part where I go, oh man, inspirational. You charred the gnocchi. Oh, the lime juice, inspired. Actually, it is really good. Enjoy.